Imagine a world more alien than Mars. A world cloaked in eternal midnight, crushed by pressures that would flatten a submarine like a tin can. A world where life blooms in ways so bizarre they seem ripped from science fiction. This isn't a distant star system. This is the deep sea. Right here, right now, beneath the waves you swim in, lies Earth's final frontier. Vast, mysterious, and breathtakingly beautiful. We've mapped the surface of Mars more thoroughly than our own ocean floor. Think about that. We know more about dusty red rocks millions of miles away than the liquid heart of our own blue planet. But here's the gut punch. This incredible, unexplored realm, holding secrets to life itself and perhaps even cures for diseases, is under siege. Right now. And we might be destroying it before we even truly know it. Is the deep sea in danger? Strap in, because the answer isn't just yes. It's a desperate, flashing red alarm screaming from the abyss. This journey will plunge you into the darkness to uncover the astonishing wonders hidden below, the terrifying threats closing in, and the critical race against time to save an ecosystem vital to every single one of us, no matter where you live on this planet. Let's truly grasp the scale we're dealing with. Forget the sun-dappled surface waters you see at the beach. We're talking about the crushing depths, everything below 200 meters. This realm makes up a staggering 95% of all the space life can exist on Earth. It's not just one zone, it's a layered world. First, the Twilight Zone, 200-1000 mobile, where sunlight fades to gloom and creatures play hide-and-seek with shadows, many sporting built-in lanterns, bioluminescence, to hunt, hide, or find love in the dark. Deeper still lies the Midnight Zone, 1000-4000 mobile, an eternal blackness where pressure mounts to hundreds of times what you feel right now. Life here is slow, strange, and incredibly efficient. Then, plunging further, we hit the Abyssal Plain, 4000-6000 mobile, vast, muddy deserts punctuated by oases of life clinging to the carcasses of whales that fall like manna from above. Whale falls become entire ecosystems for decades. And finally, the Hadal Zone, 6,000 m+, the deep trenches, the deepest scars on Earth, like the Mariana Trench, where only the toughest, most specialized organisms survive in crushing isolation. This isn't just empty space. It's a thriving, pulsing, interconnected world operating on rules we're only beginning to decipher. Picture fish with transparent heads revealing their brains, the barrel eye. Jellyfish trailing tentacles longer than blue whales, shrimp thriving in water hot enough to melt lead near hydrothermal vents, and ancient corals growing slower than glaciers, potentially living for thousands of years. These aren't monsters. They're masterpieces of evolution, perfectly adapted to an environment more extreme than anywhere else on our planet. The deep sea isn't just weird. It's a living library of genetic innovation, a potential treasure trove for medicine, material science, and understanding the very origins of life. But this incredible, hidden world faces a perfect storm of threats, many driven by human activity far, far above. Threat number 1, the looming giant, deep-sea mining. Imagine colossal machines, like multi-story tractors, crawling across the pristine abyssal plains, vacuuming up potato-sized rocks called polymetallic nodules. These nodules are packed with metals like cobalt, nickel, copper, and manganese, metals we desperately crave for our smartphones, electric car batteries, and renewable energy tech. The mining companies argue it's necessary, that it's less destructive than ripping up rainforests. But here's the terrifying reality. We have no idea what the full impact will be. Those nodules took millions of years to form. The creatures living on and around them, slow-growing sponges, delicate corals, unique worms, and sea cucumbers found nowhere else, are exquisitely adapted to that environment. Mining doesn't just remove the nodules. It churns up vast plumes of sediment that could smother life for hundreds of miles, like an underwater dust storm lasting decades. The noise and light pollution alone could devastate species reliant on silence and darkness. We are literally poised to bulldoze ecosystems we haven't even named yet, gambling with an irreplaceable part of our planet for short-term gain. It's like setting fire to the Library of Alexandria before we've even read the titles on the spines. Threat number 2, the silent, choking plague, pollution. You might think the deep ocean is too remote, too vast, for our trash to matter. Tragically, you'd be dead wrong. Plastic pollution is a global nightmare, and the deep sea is its final resting place. Microplastics, tiny fragments broken down from bags, bottles, and synthetic clothes, are now found everywhere, from the deepest trenches to the tissues of deep-sea creatures. These plastics absorb toxic chemicals like sponges, poisoning animals throughout the food chain. And it's not just microplastics. Discarded fishing gear, ghost nets, drift for decades, trapping and killing whales, sharks, turtles, and deep-sea fish indiscriminately. Toxic chemicals from industry and agriculture eventually sink, contaminating sediments. Even noise pollution from shipping and seismic surveys, used for oil/gas exploration, is a constant, disorienting barrage in an environment naturally defined by silence. The deep sea isn't a magic garbage disposal. It's the end of the line for our waste, and the consequences are poisoning life from the bottom up. Threat number 3, the invisible hand, climate change. You feel it on land with heat waves and storms, but the deep ocean is suffering too, just in slower, more insidious ways. The ocean absorbs over 90% of the excess heat trapped by greenhouse gases. This warming is slowly creeping down into the deep, changing currents and oxygen levels. Creatures adapted to near freezing, stable temperatures for millennia are now facing unfamiliar warmth. Warmer water holds less oxygen, creating expanding dead zones where little can survive. Climate change also disrupts the vital biological pump. This is nature's incredible recycling system. Tiny plankton near the surface absorb carbon dioxide. When they die or are eaten and excreted, this carbon sinks as marine snow, a constant shower of organic particles, feeding deep-sea life and locking away carbon for centuries or millennia on the seafloor. This pump is a massive climate regulator. But warming waters and ocean acidification, caused by absorbed CO2 turning seawater corrosive, threaten plankton populations and could weaken this vital process, trapping more heat in our atmosphere and creating a dangerous feedback loop. The deep sea is literally helping to keep our climate stable, and we're destabilizing the very system that protects us. Threat number 4, the emptying net, destructive fishing. While much deep-sea fishing targets specific species, the methods are often brutally destructive. Bottom trawling is the ocean's equivalent of clear-cutting a forest. Massive, heavy nets, some large enough to hold multiple jumbo jets, are dragged across the seafloor, scraping up everything in their path. Ancient, slow-growing coral forests that took centuries to form are smashed to rubble in minutes. Sponge gardens, nurseries for countless fish, are obliterated. Non-target species, the incredible diversity of deep-sea life, are scooped up as unwanted bycatch, often dead or dying, and dumped overboard. This isn't fishing, it's habitat annihilation. Deep-sea fish species are often incredibly vulnerable. They grow slowly, live long lives, and reproduce late with few offspring. Once their populations crash, they can take decades or even centuries to recover, if they ever do. We are literally vacuuming up life faster than it can possibly replenish itself in these fragile environments. So why should you care? Why does the fate of these strange creatures in the crushing dark matter to your life up here in the sunshine? The answer is simple, profound, and undeniable. The deep sea is the beating heart of our planet's life support system. It regulates our climate by absorbing heat and carbon dioxide on a massive scale. It drives global ocean currents that distribute heat and nutrients, influencing weather patterns and fisheries worldwide. The vast, unexplored genetic diversity holds untold potential. Imagine new antibiotics derived from deep-sea microbes or enzymes from extremophiles that could revolutionize biotechnology. The deep sea is also a crucial food source. Many commercially important fish species spend parts of their lives in the deep or rely on deep-sea nutrients. Destroying the deep sea isn't just an environmental tragedy. It's an act of profound self-sabotage. It's like ripping out the engine of our spaceship while we're still hurtling through the void. The health of the deep ocean is inextricably linked to the health of our surface world, our climate, our food security, and ultimately, our own survival. All is not lost. Hope glimmers even in the deepest dark, but it demands urgent, decisive action. The single most crucial step right now is pressing for a global moratorium on deep-sea mining. We simply cannot allow this destructive industry to proceed without fully understanding the consequences and establishing ironclad regulations, if it should proceed at all. Scientists, conservationists, and a growing number of governments and corporations are calling for a pause, demanding the precautionary principle. When the potential damage is huge and irreversible, and the science is incomplete, we hold back. We need to hit the brakes on mining before it's too late. Beyond mining, we must strengthen ocean governance. Expanding marine protected areas, MPAs, especially true no-take zones in vulnerable deep-sea regions, is essential. These are like national parks for the ocean, giving ecosystems space to breathe and recover. We need stricter international regulations banning destructive practices like bottom trawling in sensitive deep-sea habitats. On land, fighting climate change is fighting for the deep sea. Reducing our carbon footprint, transitioning to renewables, and protecting coastal ecosystems like mangroves and seagrass beds, which also store carbon, are vital steps. We must also tackle pollution at its source, drastically reducing plastic production and improving waste management globally, and holding industries accountable for chemical discharges. Sustainable fisheries management, including avoiding vulnerable deep-sea stocks and using less destructive gear, is non-negotiable. Supporting scientific research is paramount. We need more deep-sea exploration missions, more funding for understanding these ecosystems, and more public awareness. Every new discovery underscores how much we have to lose. The deep sea isn't just a faraway place filled with odd creatures. It's the foundation. It's the climate controller. It's the genetic library. It's the silent partner keeping our planet habitable. We are at a crossroads. One path leads to the irreversible destruction of this last great wilderness, driven by ignorance and short-term greed, potentially unraveling the very systems that sustain us. The other path demands courage, foresight, and global cooperation to protect what we don't fully understand, but absolutely cannot afford to lose. The machines are ready. The mining licenses are being debated. The clock is ticking loudly. The question isn't just, is the deep sea in danger? It's roaring at us. Will we act in time? The choice, ultimately, is ours. Protecting the deep isn't just about saving strange fish from the dark. It's about safeguarding the future of life on Earth, for us, and for generations to come. The abyss is calling. Will we answer? The fate of Earth's final frontier hangs in the balance, and its survival is inextricably linked to our own. Let's choose wisely. Let's choose protection. Let's choose the future. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more documentaries like this. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one.